Well, good morning, and it's lovely to see so many of you here, many students I recognise, so good to see here supporting all your colleagues in their 3-minute thesis endeavour. So for those who don't know what 3-minute thesis is all about, so it's originally was invented in Australia, I forget when now, but a long time ago now, at the University of Queensland. It's a concept whereby students are trained to present originally their PhD thesis in 3 minutes using one slide. Okay, so just imagine presenting your entire PhD in 3 minutes using one slide. It's not easy, but it's a way in which you teach someone how to communicate effectively, and I love the idea about it, right? And I think I always encourage my students to think like this, right? Always think, can you tell your story in 3 minutes or less? Right, so it's a good skill set to have, guys. So always think about it for yourselves when you're presenting the research you're doing. No one's going to sit there listen to you for half an hour present, right? So have that quick elevator speech if you like. So it was invented in Australia, and of course I always say every year, all good things come out of Australia, of course, and this was one of them. Now, as I said, 3 minutes, one slide, that's what we're going to do. We have a number of speakers here today, which I'll show you in a sec. Now, there are awards associated with the 3-minute thesis session. The first one is faculty judged by a number of faculty dispersed around and hidden amongst you, amongst the crowd. The second one, and the most important one for you guys, is the People's Choice Award. So you get to pick your favourite presentation. So what I advise you to do, every time you hear a talk that you really like, put that person's name down, right? So you remember it. Then if someone else maybe does a bit better, you think, maybe they can replace that person, or keep a list of them, then you can choose your favourite in the end. When we get to the end of the session, I'll show you how you're going to vote for your favourite presenter. So please do stick around, it's well worth it, okay? It's going to be a lot of fun. So in the theme of the Australian event of 3MT, we've kind of started a tradition about teaching the audience about some Aussie slang. So if you haven't been able to tell from my accent, so I am originally born and raised in Australia, so trying to keep with the theme of the Aussie host, the Aussie session, a bit of some Aussie education. So in previous years, in 2023, we learnt the words g'day, fair dinkum, mate, and tucker, and each year I try to test you to see your memory. Does anyone remember what g'day means? Oh, it's a bit obvious, right? Good day. Hello. Arvo? Afternoon. Fair dinkum. Oh. Fair dinkum. Really? You know? Fair dinkum, mate. Is that true? Is that really true? Okay. So, mate. Friend. Habib, right? Habib. What about tucker? Tucker? Food, Mazen's got the go-ahead, thank you. Food, we all like a bit of good tucker, right? Good food. In Lebanon, we have a lot of it, so it's fantastic. 2024, it's only a year ago. Ripper. You Ripper. Amazing, well done. Bludger. Bludger? The opposite? Bludger, so lazy, right? Someone doesn't really want to do much, he's a bludger. Well, she's a bludger. I don't want to be sexist, okay? Ankle biter. They can be annoying, but it's not the word annoying. Bitter, no? Biter. Baby, you know, they crawl and they bite your ankles. I don't know. Aussie babies are a different breed, you see. Buggered. Prize, no? Annoying, no? Tired, I'm buggered, right? I'm actually a bit buggered this morning myself. True blue. True blue. Not sad, yeah, blue would give it away. True blue means that you're patriotic, like he's a true blue Aussie, or he's a true blue Lebanese, right? She and he. Okay. 2025, anyone know what this animal is, by the way? These are all only Aussie animals. Of course, you've got a kangaroo, koala, your typicals. What about this bloke? Kookaburra, no? Kookaburra's the bird. Honeybat, no? It's a quokka. okay? It's a quokka. So they're really in the particular part of Australia, Western Australia, on a Rottnest Island. You go to this island, right, and these quokkas are just everywhere. You know, they mingle with the community. They come at night trying to eat or drink your wine. Don't take the wine. So yes, they're like a mini rat / kangaroo. They're about that big. Okay. So our first word for 2025, ladies and gentlemen, is dunny. Anyone has a guess what dunny means? Need to go to the dunny. Toilet. Okay, so there you go. Dunny's toilet. Brolly? What was the suggestion? No? Brolly? Protects me from the rain. I'm going to go out and take my brolly, so it's an umbrella. There you go. Guys, if you're going to go to Australia, you have to know these things. You won't succeed otherwise. Whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop. Any suggestions? Celebrating? Oh, nice. Very fun. This person lives out in Whoop Whoop, right? Adam al-Jabal, he's out in Whoop Whoop, right? Okay. He lives out in... Sanga. What's a sanga? Sandwich. Well done. That's right. Sanga is a sandwich. And crikey. Anyone know who used to say crikey? Poor guy's dead now. What's his name? The crocodile hunter? Crikey. It's a bit like surprise. Crikey, what was that? You know, surprise. Crikey. You haven't seen the crocodile hunter? Oh, do watch him. My grandmother used to love that guy. Okay, so if I'm going to put a sentence of all these words together, what would I say? I had me a big sanger out in Whoop Whoop. Crikey, mate. It was so big, I had to run to the dunny and I had to use an umbrella or a brolly, right? There you go. So do learn these. Next year, we'll have to test you again. Whoever gets them all right, there'll be a prize, okay? Okay, enough Aussie slang for now. So what we have is a fully packed performance of amazing topics and speakers, okay? Doing this, guys, speaking in 3 minutes isn't easy. So these guys are taking on a big challenge, and I do commend them just for being here. So I hope we just give them a round of applause just for even making it here. That's right. Okay. So our first speaker for this morning is Zain Al-Masri, who'll be talking to us about unlocking the power of agile antennas with groove, gap, waveguides, and adaptive beamforming. So Zain, if you'd like to take it to the stage.
Hello everyone, I'm Zain Al-Masri and today I will be presenting my topic, Unlocking the Power of Agile Antennas with Groove Gap Waveguides and Adaptive Beamforming. So first of all, imagine that you are in a war zone. Communications are down, you try calling for help, but there is no signal. What do? The tower that is near you is destroyed, but yet another tower that is not too far away is still alive. The signal is there, but it's not pointed at you. So this is where my topic comes in handy. So therefore, I'm working on beamforming. So beamforming is directing the signal in different angles, so that the signal can reach you whether you are in emergency or whether you need the actual signal. So this stack is built in 5G networks, but usually 5G networks, like traditionally, they require smart hardware. Usually they are not reconfigurable, they are expensive and bulky. So what's new about this? So in this topic, I'm working on a dual polarized phase shifter that can achieve this beamforming techniques. So it's like guiding the signal when you need it, where you need it. So think of it like a phone cup, like the cup phone that we used to play with when we were kids. So let's say you have a cup phone with a string, and you wanted to call your friend. You hand them the cup. Then let's say you wanted to talk to another friend, so you hand them the other cup. And so on. You keep handing cups to whoever you want to talk to. So like this idea, my design has the inserted plates below. These are Lego-like lightweight pieces that you can insert inside a bigger system without rebuilding the entire system, and they act like a string, the string between the two cups, and it can redirect the wave wherever you need it without needing to build the entire phone. So finally, 5G systems, when we think of 5G systems, we think of we think of faster internet, but in reality, it's smarter connection, it's flexible, it's adaptive, and one day this technology can help save your life. And thank you.
So next we have Ali Tayyar, who will be speaking to us about mapping the hidden forest growing in batteries. So welcome, Ali.
Have you ever found yourself in a situation where your phone dies at the worst possible moment? Maybe you were lost in a new city, or about to take the perfect picture, or in the middle of an important call with your boss. It always seems to happen at the worst possible moment, right? Well, that's why I'm here today, to talk about how we can improve rechargeable batteries so you don't have to face that frustration again. Our chargeable battery works in a way where the ions from the upper side of the battery, which is called the cathode, move to the lower side of the battery, which is called the anode. However, when these ions touch the lower side, they start stacking on top of each other, and that's the enemy. The stacking creates a tree-like shape, or what we can call a dendrite. Whenever these trees grow and touch the upper surface, as we can see, they create a short circuit, or in simpler terms, the battery dies. And this is exactly what causes this Tesla car to catch on fire. During this year, my final year project with Dr. Lais focused on how we can design a computational model to simulate such phenomena. Using advanced equations and physics-based modeling, we combined electrochemistry with computational fluid dynamics to predict how batteries fail and how to prevent them from the failure before it even starts. Our ultimate goal is to give a virtual microscope to battery designers where they can test and optimize for new materials, geometries, and charging protocols without going through the expensive and time-consuming experiments. We hope that through this work, we provide or work on a better battery for the next generation of lithium-ion batteries, for a safer charging and longer life for our smart cars, for our smartphones and electric vehicles and all the devices we can't live without. Thank you.
So our next presenter is Sara Houaidi, so engineering a biometric breast cancer model in 3D. Thank you, Sara.
Hello, everyone. What if I tell you 1 in 8 women you know will develop breast cancer in her lifetime? Breast cancer, the most common type of cancer, will touch many of our families, our mothers, our sisters, and our daughters. Just 7 months ago, my friend Nada passed away after struggling 2 years with breast cancer, leaving behind her 2 daughters. In Lebanon, breast cancer represents one of the highest rates in Arab countries at 38%, with over 50% of cases occurring in women under the age of 50, with the most common type is ductal carcinoma in situ, in which cancer cells grow within ducts, as you can see in the first figure. But the good news is that researchers around the world are working tremendously in order to develop, increase the effectiveness of treatments. In order to do this, researchers will need tools or models in order to develop and test new treatment strategies that are tailored to the specific needs of individual women. However, the majority of the most widely used tools in cancer research don't really look like an actual tissue in our body. In the next minute, you will hear how researchers and engineers have come together in order to develop 3-dimensional models that accurately mimic the breast tumor microenvironment as compared to 2-dimensional models in which cancer cells are cultured on a plate, as you can see in the middle figure. In our study, we developed a 3D breast cancer ductal model as you can see in the top left figure, in order to mimic ductal carcinoma in situ, in which cancer cells are grown within ducts. Cancer cells grown within our duct were successfully able to proliferate, as you can see in the bottom left figure, highlighting the versatility of our model to mimic ductal carcinoma in situ, and thus to be used in the future to advance the treatments. I hope with all the efforts done worldwide, we will be able to win this battle against breast cancer. We will win it by working together, students, professors, researchers, donors, and volunteers. Thank you.
So we're moving on now to Batul Haj, who's going to talk to us about wireless heating of implantable devices through RF. So welcome to the stage, Batul.
All right, so we have a case where a patient comes out of a surgery with hope, but also with something else, an implantable device within their body. Maybe it's meant to reduce pain, to treat a disease, or to support in healing. But here's the catch. This implantable device will soon run out of battery, and then the patient has to go back into another surgery and replace this battery. So this is real, and it happens more than we think, and it made me wonder, why do we treat something as sophisticated as the human body with tools that haven't evolved yet? Like, we live currently in a world where we are able to charge our phones without wires. So why are implantable medical devices still relying on batteries and invasive surgeries and procedures? So that's exactly what my research is about. I have designed a fully implantable device, no batteries, no wires. It's a system that sits, it's a small smart system that sits quietly inside the human body. And then it is powered from the outside through invisible radio frequency waves. So it sounds futuristic, but it is real. I have built it. So after the design stage, we fabricated this system here at the American University of Beirut, and then it went through iterative testing stages, and we can gladly say that this system works well, and we can validate and confirm that it was steady, it was safe and effective. This device doesn't just work. It opens the opportunity for treatments to be seamless, for surgeries to be fewer, and for implantable devices to be more reliable. Because in the future, we won't just wear technology, we will be healing through it quietly, wirelessly, and with no limits. Thank you.
Okay, our fifth speaker is Fatima Shoudaba, synthesizing vascularized bone in the lab. So welcome, Fatima.
Hi, everyone. I hope you're still up and energetic, because I'm going to work your imagination a little bit over here. So imagine you just got hit by a car. Your leg bone is shattered, there's blood everywhere, and you're thinking to yourself, maybe, just maybe, I might not be able to walk again. Then you hear the paramedics over you, saying that the only possible way to treat you and the only possible way to make you able to walk again is a surgery. They have to take part of your bone, your hip bone, for example, which is a natural bone in your body, that's a healthy bone, and they have to implant it in your leg. In fact, this invasive surgery is the golden standard for bone repair, especially in critical cases. Now, how do you feel about that? I bet that's devastating. But do not fret, because I have the solution for you. We as scientists have developed synthetic bone and synthetic implants called scaffolds that could go into your damaged bone instead of using your natural healthy bone. And these scaffolds, they work on allowing your own bone to regenerate, and they disintegrate on their own inside the body. However, there's a catch. The newly formed bone does not contain blood vessels, which means that the cells in it will eventually die later on. So now you're probably thinking, we're back at square one. What are we going to do about that? And here comes our role. In our lab, we are developing several types of hydrogels, which are gel material that contain a large quantity of water. The idea is that we're going to implant cells in these hydrogels, as you can see in the figure above, and we are going to trigger these cells to form a vascular network inside the lab and outside the body. Then we're going to combine the hydrogels with the synthetic implants that I've just mentioned to end up with a final product that can work on both bone regeneration as well as vascularization. In fact, we have already developed several types of hydrogels that can do that. One of them you've probably heard of. It's based on the natural material called collagen. And we have also proved that cells can live inside these hydrogels and grow, as well as they have an interesting shape. They show elongations and extensions, which means that they're connecting and communicating with each other, which is a crucial step for later on for vascularization. So the next time you find yourself in the unlucky situation where your leg bone is shattered, you know who to come to. Thank you.
To our sixth speaker for this morning, so Fatima Ismail, talking to us about semantic communications at the Terahertz band. So please make your way, Fatima.
Have you ever just said one word like coffee and your friend instantly replies, Yalla, let's go? You didn't say much, but she knew exactly what you meant. Now imagine if machines could do the same, understand the meaning behind what we say, even if our words are corrupted or incomplete. That's the future of communication, and that's what I'm working on. Hello, I'm Fatima Ismail, and my research is about building smarter and faster systems that don't just send data, they send meaning. Let me explain. Our communication systems today doesn't actually understand what we're saying. They just represent our words or messages into bits, zeros, and ones and send them. If some of these bits is lost or damaged, the whole message becomes unreadable, which could cost us a lot of time, energy, and resources. But with semantic communication, which is empowered by artificial intelligence, we can only send the essential meaning of the sentence and not the full sentence. And at the receiver, an AI system can fill in the blank, just like what your friend did when you said coffee. And there's a challenge, of course. I work with something called terahertz channels. Think of terahertz channels as the invisible path that our message travels through when we send them wirelessly through the air. It provides ultra-fast wireless communication, which is perfect for future technologies like 6G, but it's also extremely fragile. It introduces extreme noise to the transmitted message. So what I did is that I trained a semantic communication system, which is AI-based, to send and receive the meaning of the sentences only, under this bad terahertz channel conditions. And the results were exciting. With the same transmitted power and under the same bad terahertz channel conditions, we can see on the left, the traditional communication system fails to reconstruct the transmitted sentence. It's received scrambled. On the other hand, our semantic communication system reconstructs the transmitted sentence correctly. You will tell me that the received and the transmitted sentences are not identically the same, word by word, but I'll tell you that they are similar and identical in meaning. And that's what semantic communication systems is all about. And even better, not only did it perform very well in one exact noisy channel condition, it also performed very well on other noisy environments. This means that semantic communication systems can generalize and perform very well in other noisy mediums without retraining. It's like training someone to hear through the storm, and they end up hearing clearly through the crowd too. And you might ask yourself, why does this matter anyway? Because in the future, we will be talking to robots and self-driving cars. We need communication that doesn't break easily. We need systems that understand us. And that's exactly what my work is helping to build. Thank you.
We move on to speaker number 7, Marie-Michelle Al-Sadrani, the hidden bone behind better sleep, boosting neurostimulation for sleep apnea.
Have you ever tried sleeping next to someone who snores? You lie there, wide awake, with that desire of throwing a pillow at them, maybe even suffocating them with it. Don't worry, I'm not here to judge you. But here's the catch. They are already suffocating. Yes, in their sleep. This is called obstructive sleep apnea. and it is caused by the tongue moving backwards, blocking the airway, which is the path through which we breathe, just like an electric car might block a road. Why does this happen? Several reasons, one of which is that the brain, our electric car driver, dozes off and stops pressing the pedal. No proper electrical signal, no movement. Why is this even a big deal? Well, that blocked road is the path for airflow carrying oxygen. And reductions in airflow and oxygen to the body don't just cause snoring and daytime sleepiness, but they can increase the risk for heart disease, even cancer. The scariest part, 1 out of 5 people you know are at risk. But let's not panic, because hypoglossal nerve stimulation is a treatment modality in which a small battery is surgically placed in patients. That battery delivers electrical signals called neurostimulation to move the tongue forward. It's essentially like putting our car in autopilot mode. However, it's not effective in about 40% of patients. Why is that? Because our road is bumpy, and the anatomy of the upper airway makes it harder for the tongue to move, even with neurostimulation. So what do we do now? The traffic officer steps in. That officer is the hyoid bone. It's a tiny U-shaped bone in the neck connected to the tongue. In our story, the officer pulls the car in autopilot mode to help move it off the way. However, where he pulls from matters. Wrong position, no progress. Right position, the road clears and oxygen flows. In our study, we investigated this in a rabbit model by applying electrical stimulation after changing the hyoid position. The results? By moving the hyoid forward, we were able to boost the tongue movement with electrical stimulation, thus improving airflow. So what does this tell us? It tells us that treating sleep apnea is not just about moving the tongue. It requires a combination therapy. With neurostimulation and bone in play, we keep the snores and suffocation away. Thank you.
Next up is Hadi Faddis, AI for drone defense. Thank you, Hadi.
Imagine this. Ideas 2025 is in full swing. Students, professors, and parents are all gathered together, enjoying the day. But suddenly, a small drone appears into the sky, buzzing over the crowd. It's not invited, it's not supposed to be there, and yet it is just above our heads. In real life, to deal with such a situation, we will need some advanced technologies, advanced and technically difficult weapons. But what if we don't need all of this? Imagine if a small kid having $100 drone is flying his drone at the wrong moment and in the wrong time. We will need $100,000 air defense system to counteract this drone. But what if we didn't need all of this? And from here comes the idea of my project. My project addresses this particular issue, not only simple drones, but also the advanced one. What I have created is a system powered by AI, something that is simple, small, and yet fast and effective. What I have created is something that watches the sky, learns how drones move, and also at the same time can track an unknown drone in real time to detect its position at each single frame. And when we are speaking about frame, we are even in a degrees less than microseconds. We are here speaking about something that we are not using weapons in it. And here's the twist. We'll just need to use another drone, a peaceful one, something that will go up into the sky, deal with whatever drones we have up there. It will stay close to the intruder drone, follow it, and at all time guide it away from our spaces. And from here comes the idea that technologies in the right hand doesn't need to be loud or violent. It just needs to be clever. And from here, we can continue our Ideas 2025 event peacefully and without even noticing that there was something up into the sky.
Now, Hadi Al-Kansa Saharbot, bringing STEAM and empathy to young learners. So please, Hadi.
Have you ever watched a child light up when they figure something out? Like when they ask, why do stars twinkle? And you answer them, and they go, whoa. That spark, that moment of curiosity, it's magical. That spark is what STEAM education is all about. Igniting curiosity and setting up kids for the future. But here's the reality. Quality STEAM education is locked away. It's found in after-school programs that are expensive and well-funded schools, leaving behind 4 out of 5 of children in places with limited resources. This leaves millions behind. And even if they have access to resources like chatbots, today's versions are not good enough for kids. They are robotic, they miss on facts, and they awkwardly switch from talking about gravity to asking about feelings. And many rely on huge AI models that require expensive computers to run. Therefore, my research builds a new type of AI companion, one that is designed to be a smart, safe, and accessible learning companion that also knows how to listen. How do we do that? We build an agentic workflow. Think of it as a director that guides many specialized AI assistants, one for STEAM education and another for empathetic support. They work together to generate training data that separates the STEAM education from the emotional support. And then this data can be used to train smaller models that work on small hardware like tablets and old computers. And to ensure that the information is trustworthy, we developed Cosmic, a new method that ensures that the chatbot does not just sound right, but is actually right. And the result is a small chatbot that works. We still have work to make it more factual and entertaining, but it is a right step in the direction of bringing quality learning within reach. Ultimately, this research is not about just building smarter AI. It's about equity. It's about bringing that wow moment of discovery and the comfort of being heard to every child, regardless of their background and financial status. It's about igniting new sparks everywhere. Thank you.
We're getting towards the end, which is a bit sad. So giving us to our last speaker and leaving us with a bang, I'm sure. Lara Al-Hassaniyi, the greener side of palm oil, creating renewable energy from waste.
Can you remember the last time you tried a bar of chocolate? It's smooth texture, it's rich flavor. Now, do you remember looking at the ingredient list? I'm sure if you did, you'll find that at least palm oil or one of its derivatives are in there somewhere. Palm oil is not just in there. Palm oil is everywhere. It's in the food that we eat. It's in the detergent that we use to wash our clothes. It's even in the toothpaste that we use to brush our teeth every day. Palm oil is everywhere. Now, the problem is that for every spoon of palm oil you produced, there is 4 that are being wasted. But unfortunately, there is little research that utilizes this palm oil waste into producing valuable types of green energy. And this is where our research comes into play. Our research delves into finding a simulation or generating a simulation that incorporates various types of energy into one. And we focus mainly on producing biodiesel and hydrogen. Now, here are our results. In order to explain them, though, I need to explain the concept of yield. If you've ever squeezed an orange for juice, you know that not all the juice makes it into the glass. not all of the origin makes into the glass. The juice that makes it into the glass is yield. And now here are our results. We have successfully generated 79% yield of biodiesel, but it doesn't just stop there. The byproducts of this biodiesel are utilized to produce up to 71% yield of hydrogen. This process is incredibly important. Not only are we innovating, we are also ensuring a cleaner, greener, and sweeter future. One where we can eat our bar of chocolate and ensure that it's also sustainable. Thank you.
Thank you, Lara. So that kind of brings us to the end of our 3-minute presentations, which is sad, I know, but we had such an amazing group of speakers. I'm sure you'll agree. So everyone, a round of applause for everyone that presented today. I would have to say this is probably one of our best 3-minute thesis sessions yet. Really interesting talks, really great speakers. So well done, everyone. So now comes the time where we're going to vote for our best speaker for the People's Choice Award. So we shouldn't let anyone else in, guys, please. Whoever's here, please stay. What we're going to do is distribute clickers for you that you'll be voting on so we can get your vote. So it's going to be a mechanical manual process. And please make sure to give them back at the end. Otherwise, we'll be charging you. So we haven't started yet, but just have a look. So these are the list of names, 1 to 10. Next to each name, there is a letter that you have to press on your clicker. So Zaina is A, Ali is B, Sada is C, Batul is D, Fatima Shawraba E, Fatah Ismail F, Marie Michelle is G, Hadi Faris H, Hadi Al-Kansa I, and Lara Al-Hassani J. You ready? Yeah. We've started, so go ahead. Press your favorite. Okay, and we're done. We're not going to announce it today. Come to the awards ceremony tomorrow, and you get to see who the best 3MT presenter was. Now, before we end the session, this is not it. I mean, I know 3MT is the best session in the entire conference, but it's not it. No, I won't say that. We have a lot of stuff going on today, guys. So we've got the Maker Faire tomorrow. We've got Creative Achievements happening now next, which is where FYPs are presenting their projects, research posters, and then the oral presentation session at the end of the day back here at 3:30 p.m. And tomorrow, Maker Faire, ideas, talks, and your startup pitches. So thank you for everyone for coming. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you throughout the conference.